What do you think that will look like?
By now, you should probably have the schedule figured out. I'm going back and forth between Ratchet and Clank and some other random game that I thought of. This episode was going to be Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, but the physical release isn't until August 31st.
Are you freaking killing me?
So to fill the gap, let's talk about Spyro the Dagger. Before Ratchet & Clank, Insomniac developed Spyro the Dragon, a trilogy of platformers that focused on a young purple dragon named Spyro. This trilogy was released on Sony's PlayStation between 1998 and 2000, and eventually remastered by Toys for Bob in 2018. This game franchise suffered the same fate as its older brother, Crash Bandicoot, in that both of the original developers left Universal to work directly with Sony. Now that we got the brief history lesson out of the way, let's dive into the very first game, my personal favorite in the series, Spyro the Dragon. I'd like to remind everyone that the first time I really sat down and played this game was back in 2015, so I don't have too much nostalgia for it. At least I don't have to worry about using that excuse. The story sees the inhabitants of the Dragon Worlds making childish insults about
Gnasty,
calling him simple, no threat, and ugly. Okay, I know this game was made to be kid-friendly, but 9-year-olds have more creative insults than that. Yo, what's up, you bitch-ass pussy fucks? Actually, your kids shouldn't be saying that. Get them some help if they are. So yeah, it's pretty whack, but that's not the main focus. The object of this game is to collect all the gems scattered around the world and free the dragons from their stone prison. The game is a collect-a-thon platformer where you trek around in an open world collecting items and stealing back dragon eggs from thieves. After rescuing dragons, you can use their platforms as a save point or just a checkpoint. These dragons give you some helpful hints on how to progress. Sometimes. Most of the time, they'll just say this. Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
There's a lot of instances where they literally say something stupid.
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
They're better off just thanking me for releasing them. Although, I do like the first hint you get about the supercharge.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge?
Now, collecting every single gem sounds like a massive chore. Well, Insomniac thought of that. This game's Aku Aku is a little dragonfly named Sparks. Sparks can collect nearby gems and 1-ups, while serving as a shield for Spyro. Sparks will turn blue after 1 hit, green after 2, then disappear after 3. If Spyro gets hit without Sparks, you die and respawn at the last checkpoint you touched. After getting hit, you can flame little enemies to feed a butterfly to Sparks, allowing him to regain his strength. Most of the levels in this game are very linear, but some do provide extra paths to take. There are 6 worlds, with each one housing 3 levels, a flight, and a boss. The only world without a flight is the last one, Gnasty's world. The flights are minigames where you complete 4 objectives in a short time. Everything you collect extends your timer. For 100%, you will need to complete all 4 objectives in one go, which can prove to be quite challenging. The bosses in this game are... they're pretty weak. Half of them Spyro doesn't even attack. The first boss is Toasty and... Dude, is this really the best you can do?
Hey, don't blame me, there were cutbacks.
Then there's the 5th boss, Jock. You literally just platform until you reach the end, then you flame him. That's it. Basically, imagine if every boss was Papu Papu from Crash 1. They're that easy. Oh well, at least there's one other advantage this game has. That is the fact that every level can be completed 100% without needing to revisit it another time. This is why Spyro 1 is my favorite out of the trilogy. Of course, there is a fair amount of replay value lost as a result, but the levels make up for it by being immersive, vibrant, and quite large. Whatever you see in the background, you can travel to it. The great thing about the PS1 is that it loads up distant enemies kinda crappy to prevent distractions. The quality picks up as you approach those enemies. Same goes for all the different areas in the levels. Insomniac handled this to near perfection. You know what else was handled to near perfection? The soundtrack. This has to be one of the most diverse PS1 soundtracks I have ever heard. Every level's music fits so perfectly, and it's all thanks to the man behind it all. The Police drummer, Stuart Copeland.
They pay me for this.
No bias, no exaggeration. The way he composed this soundtrack was just absolutely phenomenal. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. The music for Wizard Peak would later become the credits music for Nickelodeon's The Amanda Show, slightly remixed by Copeland, of course. Just don't play this game on PS3 like I did. The emulator Sony used just cannot keep up sometimes, and if there's too much happening on screen, the game will lag. A lot. One other thing I love is the design of these levels. They incorporate everything you learn from Freeing the Dragons, like combining different attack patterns on certain enemies, or linking multiple ramps together for a really fast supercharge.
Supercharge?
The final boss battle is not even a battle. You just chase down a couple thieves and take their keys, then chase down
Gnasty,
and flame him. After that, you race against the clock while navigating the platforms, then you flame Gnasty one last time. That's it. If you collect every gem, free every dragon, and recover every egg, you will unlock the final level in the game, Gnasty's Galoot. In this level, you have the ability to fly. The higher you go up in the level, the higher you can fly. This part right here is so satisfying. Once you collect all 2,000 gems and exit the level, you get one last cutscene where Spyro is wearing sunglasses, and the dragons get frozen again. Guess those dragons needed to stand still. And then the credits play. If there's one thing I would have to comment on, it's Spyro. Not necessarily the character himself, but rather his attitude and tone throughout the entire game. I don't know, every time he speaks, it sounds to me like he's some snarky, cocky little bitch. He kinda reminds me of that one kid in school who got in one fight and thought he was an absolute badass afterwards. I mean, all Spyro talks about is wanting to fry
Gnasty,
and it quickly gets annoying.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him. Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Give me all the money in the cash register!
But honestly, that's just a little gripe compared to all the other positive things I have to say about this game. As far as the story goes, it is pretty lackluster, but great platformers don't need an amazing story. Just look at Crash 2. It does add to the experience, but it is not required so long as the gameplay is enough of a selling point. Now, how does Spyro control in this game? Well, he's a little stiff, but it doesn't take long to get used to it. Now, given this game has a camera you can rotate, Insomniac needed a workaround for those who didn't own a DualShock controller, so you use L2 and R2 to look around. Very neat, but I would have loved to have the option to use the right analog stick instead. Other than those minor gripes, this is otherwise a very solid game. It's got solid controls, great graphics, a banging soundtrack, and tons of content. The only setbacks are the very lackluster bosses and Spyro's personality. Overall, Spyro the Dragon is a solid game. I highly recommend it to any platformer enthusiast. Hell, I'll recommend this game to everyone. And holding L1 and triangle at the title screen grants you access to a demo for Warped. Yeah, it's Tell No Tales, but it's still pretty cool. I'm giving Spyro the Dragon a very solid 7 out of 10. With this being the first game in the series, improvements would be made to the gameplay, eventually creating an incredible sequel. But that's not the sequel from Insomniac that we'll be looking at. Next time, we will continue Ratchet's season with Going Commando. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. And don't forget to share the video with your friends. And until next time, this is JuniorNitro saying thank you for watching, and have a quarktastic day.
They pay me for this.